Do you want a legal opinion?
You're going to call up when page 80 kwala 30
30.
kwala you're referring to page 30 item 3.3. Yeah, we've done that item. Can I confirm, councillors?
Correct.
Yeah, we are on page 30. We've dealt with item 3.3. That was the last item in our agenda. Then after that is impact report on page 32. We'll deal with that item later in the agenda. After we've exhausted all the executive committee reports. Yeah, thank you for that. The deputy mayor will table the third report of the executive committee. Then we'll proceed. Deputy mayor, your microphone.
Is this okay? Sibonga Somlomo, allow me to table the third report of the executive committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor, City Manager, please present the item.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We now go to the first report, which is the report of the Finance Committee from their meeting, which was held on the 23rd of the 7th, 2025. Item number 1.1, budget statement report for the month and quarter ending 30th June 2025. Committee recommend.
Thank you very much. Councillor Kison, you're number 1. Councillor Nala, you're number 2. In that order.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, we have received the budget report and we have scrutinized it. Our concerns lie in the fact that it is often the case that officials do spend the budget, but year after year we request that the budget is spent responsibly and we make sure that the budget is spent in the right areas. However, it is extremely concerning to note that in the last hour, at the 11th hour, at the end of the budget year, we see an extreme movement where the budget is put into huge amounts because people are scrambling to make sure that they've spent money that should have been planned throughout the year. Another grave concern for us, Speaker, is the fact that EThekwini released a statement in regards to our amounts that were spent in grant funding. We had, in some cases, over 200% spent in our transport grant. It is extremely concerning to note that when we look at the figures, these figures are not reflected according to our budget statement. And it asks or begs the question of, are our figures correct? And while there are accruals that need to be added on, they still may not amount to the amounts that we look at. Speaker, our city right now needs infrastructure. Every single ward is battling with electricity and water issues. Yet we continue to see the budget in a position where we don't use full use of all our grant funding and where we give our public that's actually listening to us the amounts that's in the grant funding as inflated. We cannot continue to do that and we cannot continue to pull the wool above their eyes. Speaker, if we are going to look at our budget statement reports and we're going to congratulate and pat ourselves on the back for what we see, we also have to ask ourselves the questions very carefully. Are we spending it correctly throughout the year Or are we actually just taking these amounts at the end of the year, moving figures around so that we get to where we need to be? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kesson. Councillor Nala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, councillors and municipal officials, and esteemed members of the public. It is both an honor and a responsibility to present the highlights of the budget statement report for the month and quarter ending 30 June 2025. As a municipality, we continue to face a complex set of challenges, but we are pleased as ANC to note the report and that we are also witnessing a significant progress in key performance areas. This report reflects our ongoing efforts to strengthen governance, improve service delivery, and build a financially resilient municipality. Let me outline some of the notable positive developments from this period. Firstly, we have seen an encouraging improvement in our revenue collection, with a collection rate exceeding that of last year, which was 93%, and we are sitting on 95% this year. This demonstrates that our billing and recovery systems are working effectively and that there is growing confidence from our residents and businesses in this institution. Secondly, our expenditure patterns are closely aligned with our service delivery objectives, especially in infrastructure development. Capital investments in water, sanitation, electricity, roads, and housing have significantly progressed, reinforcing our commitment to the goals of the Integrated Development Plan. We are also pleased to note a positive budget variance due to disciplined spending and improved cost controls. Underspending in certain areas is linked to timing delays in multi-year projects and not to underperformance. On the grant funding front, we have recorded good utilization of conditional grants, including the Municipal Infrastructure Grant and the Urban Settlements Development Grant. This efficient use of grants has ensured that planned projects remain on track with visible impact in both urban and rural areas. We have also made commendable progress in strengthening our financial management systems, internal controls, and audit readiness, ensuring compliance with the Municipal Finance Management Act, and preparing the ground for improved audit outcomes. Additionally, our investments in sustainable infrastructure is accelerating. Key upgrades in stormwater systems, road resurfacing, and housing projects are not only enhancing service delivery, but also promoting long-term resilience in our communities. We remain committed to the poor and vulnerable. Our indigent support program continues to provide free basic services, water, electricity, and sanitation to thousands of deserving households. We are also improving our approach to public accountability and community participation. Budget consultations and community engagements have become more frequent and transparent, allowing citizens to play an active role in shaping the future of EThekwini. Honorable Speaker, while we celebrate these achievements, we also remain vigilant and transparent about areas of concerns. It is important to note that unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure was incurred during the month of June 2025. These details are outlined in Section 10 of the Budget Statement Report. We take this matter seriously and are committed to strengthening preventative controls, ensuring consequence management when necessary, and putting in place corrective action plans to address the root causes of such expenditure. Accountability and clean governance remain at the center of our mission. In conclusion, let me extend my appreciation to the municipal administration, the finance team, and all service departments for their tireless commitments. Together, we are moving EThekwini forward, delivering services, creating jobs, and building trust. Let us stay focused, let us remain accountable, and above all, let us continue to serve our people with integrity and urgency. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. Are the recommendations noted, councillors? Thank you.
Item 1.2, proposed major amendment of contract number 1F-3185 for the provision of cash in transit services for a period of 36 months in line with section 1163, 3A and B and C of the MFMA. Committee recommends.
Yeah, thank you, City Manager. All the recommendations are for noting. They are all noted, councillors. Next item.
Item 1.3, outcome of the process undertaken to comply with section 33.
Recommendation agreed. Next item.
Item number 1.4, public tender awards of EThekwini Municipality for the month ended 30th June 2025. Committee recommends.
Item 1.4, there are speakers, 2. Councillor Mwango, 2 minutes, donated. MKP, independent. ANC, Councillor Mzimela. In that order. Councillor Mwango.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, one need to look at these public tender awards, especially around the continuous abuse of Section 36. As Action SA, we are really concerned that there is increase when it comes to the use of Section 36, even in cases where it can be justified as to why the normal procurement processes was not followed. In this particular report of a month of June, there was an item which we've been raising consistently as Action SA, the issue of Nedbank Cup and public viewing, where in a report it says Section 36 was used, but on the other side, the municipality in the public space will say the normal process was followed. That contradiction shows that there was a clear abuse of Section 36, because if your contradiction shows that there was a clear abuse of Section 36, because if you look at the ground of Section 36, it's specific that you can use it on emergency. Also, when you've got a single provider, and also where it's not possible
Order, Speaker.
to follow the process.
Order.
Speaker, may you please help me here? I'm lost. Which item are we now?
We are on page 7, item 1.4.
Thank you, Somlo.
Thank you. Proceed, Mwango.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. So, Honourable Speaker, this shows that as this council, we need to pay attention to the possible abuse and continuous abuse of Section 36. Because in this particular case, it's not really clear which section between 36(1), 2, or 3. It's not clear. Now, these are the questions I think we need to really get answers from, especially from the accounting officer, to explain the rationale behind the use of Section 36, and also how in future we avoid the abuse of this section. We understand that there will be cases where there's a need to use Section 36, and we understand it doesn't mean when you use 76 there is corruption, but it can be abused, Honourable Speaker. We are actually appealing that as this council, we pay attention to the possible abuse of 76. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mwango. Councillor Mzimela.
Ngibingelele Speaker, ngibingelele Deputy Mayor, namakhansela onke, ne-administration siyanibingelela. Sifuna ukubonga nje ukuthi le report iveza nalento esikhuluma ngayo transparent ne-accountability, because it tells us ukuthi how much was spent kwinto yama-tender ngenyanga kaJune, public tender award. But also sifuna ukusho ukuthi as the African National Congress, Section 36 is in line with MFA. So there's nothing wrong with Section 36. And into esazoba khona into Section 36. Njengoba kade kulimele nje abantu bakithi lapho Kennedy Road, umasipala kufanele u-act. So Section 36 uyasiza ke imene njalo ephuthumayo. So ke usazoba khona Section 36, but also I'm happy to say that in a committee, head waka procurement did explain all the item, how this Section 36 was used. So I'm surprised if one of my colleagues is questioning that in this meeting, because wachaza nje kwaphelelo siyabonga kakhulu ngokuba umuntu oyiunderstanda into yakhe. But also we as the ANC also raised issue ka Section 36 ukuthi as much as yes we need to use it uma emergency, but siyafisa ukuthi mawusetshenziswa ugadwe kakhulu, kodwa siyazi ukuthi ama unforeseen circumstances azolokho ekhona. Ingakho enye ama proposal ukuthi kube ne panel of services so that sizokwazi ukuthi si responde accordingly in line with MFA. But also sifuna ukusho ukuthi kulento ka Section 36 siyazi ukuthi khona amandla lapha ku city manager ukuthi makukhona ukabuse kwemthetho ethize yokusetshenziswa kwemali emkhandlweni wetheku, the city manager reserves the right to investigate the award with an aim of doing it DC criminal and recovery la ekulahleke khona imali. So ke akukho abuse kwe system. Sibonga kakhulu nje ku department u CFO nalonke ithimba la finance. I thank you.
Thank you very much, councillors. Are the recommendations noted? Next item, City Manager.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The next item is item number 1.3, which is the outcome of the process undertaken to...
Page 8, 1.5.
Oh, sorry, I referred back. 1.5, page 8, investment report for the month ended 30th June 2025. Committee recommends.
Thank you, Councillor Anipen. You are the first speaker. IFP, Councillor Madlala, you are the second and the last speaker. Councillor Anipen.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm not at 1.5, 1.6.
Oh, okay, it means there was a mistake here. Councillor Madlala.
Ngisola ukuthi nami ngo 1.6 uAnipen me 1.6.
Oh, nishadid, okay, unamanga. Councillors, are the recommendations noted? City Manager, next item.
1.6, debt collection report for the month ending 30th June 2025. Committee recommends.
Right, 1.6. There is Councillor Berchte here. Then there is Councillor Shazy from the ANC. Now, Belinda. Councillor Anipen is saying he's on this item and Councillor Madlala. It means after Shazy is Anipen, after Anipen is Madlala, in that order. Councillor Berchte.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. So it would appear some political parties are submitting their names together. So if the one goes wrong, the other one goes wrong as well. But be that as it may.
It's called tight marking.
But I'm glad my friend is on the floor with us at this stage. You know, earlier we did refer to the debt collection report. And my learned friend from across, the one that's on 1.5, 1.6, and a lot of others, have made some remarks on it. And I must be quite honest, if we are still trying to find excuses for debt that has grown in the last 2 years, in the 23 year by 5.3 billion, and in the last year alone by 10 billion. That's 10 billion in a year, bringing us to 40 billion. And we then boast that a collection rate of between 93 and 95% will suffice. in catching up the backlog, then I can understand why my friend there says that there's no money for infrastructure and, because you need to recover more than what you bill to be able to work down the deficit. So we should be collecting in the region of 102 to 103%, because else you are only collecting against your billing. And that's why your deficit grows all the time. And there endeth that lesson in percentages. We also have to look at the contributors to the fiscal. Now, that seems to dwindle of those that are contributing that we are collecting from, because our debtors rate seems to be shrinking. It's way below the 10%. Now, in comparison, that's even less than the percentage that the ANC got in last year's election. So that's quite scary. And, so we must take that, I needed to explain that. When one would also have to agree that 73% of that is indeed household debt. And that's about 23 billion thereof. Because the reality is the people cannot afford what the city is charging them anymore. We continue to lump it on that less than 10% and expect them to be able to balance the fiscal while we are not collecting of the arrears. The other reality is also that for the electricity department has done no disconnections since March, because there's not a contract in place. So we've dropped the contract on the ball on that one, so we can't even do a disconnection, so we don't even know how much is being accumulated. And then we can go back to the meters that are not being read on both the water and the electricity, and then we estimate. So actually, we don't really know how much debt we've got outstanding because we're estimating it. And then we go to the smaller rats and mice in this game, and that is the government departments and parastatals. And I say smaller rats and mice don't come with a comparison, but if you take it against the bigger picture of 40 billion, these are only in millions. And one would have to ask the Nkonyama Trust. As long as I've been in this council, I've heard of that debt from the Nkonyama Trust, and I'm hearing that we're going to get to some kind of agreement, but it hasn't happened. We also see that some of the government departments at least have gone into an agreement with us, like for instance Public Works. But we don't see anything from other departments, such as for instance Education, dumping this side, that side. We don't want to disconnect them, but they're also not paying us. Then you look at other municipalities like Ugu, where that's government. We keep on supplying them, and we say we cannot disconnect them because we will be shooting ourselves in the foot because our own people are on the same lines for water and so forth. Well, I think they've got a smoking gun in their hand because we're not disconnecting them, and they know that. And so I can carry on with this, but the reality is we have got a crisis on hand, and we can dance around it in any way we want to, and we can try and justify it, and we can say that we are going well, and we can pat ourselves on the back. We have got a problem. Our debt relief programs, whether it's a 50% that we gave people off, whether they've given them a reduced rate to pay it off over longer periods, whether we've got debt collectors, there is something wrong. It's not working, it's growing, it's not reducing. We need to get to some other kind of way to do this. I'm not here to give those answers. I'm here to oversight to see, you know what, we've got a problem. We have to admit it. Until such time as we admit it, we will not turn this around while we say we're on the right path. We note this with reluctance and wonder in a month's time whether it's going to be another 2 billion. Because at the end of the day, this is why we can't keep the city afloat, because we don't have the money coming in. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Shezi.
Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Shezi.
Thank you, Speaker. Am I audible?
Ayivumi microphone.
Sekuyazwakala, Speaker.
Yeah, microphone yakho ayivumi kahle. Asimnikeze mic, please.
Covered.
Let's invite Councillor Anipen in the meantime while we are sorting the microphone. Councillor Anipen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the IFP notes the report that's before us, but we have some concerns that I think must be addressed. Firstly, Mr. Speaker, one of the issues that have been cited here for the reasons for the high levels of debt in the city is because of the poor indigent management system. And one of the reasons advanced here too is that not many citizens are taking advantage of the system. I don't think that is entirely correct, Mr. Speaker, because those of us who are working on the ground know that there are major delays in terms of social worker visits, and the city is really not able to manage the indigent program as it stands. And I think what is needed is that we need to employ more social workers, either on a contract basis or sign memorandums of agreement or understanding with the Department of Social Development, so that we can fast track this and have a turnaround period of at least 90 days. Because what happens is that for as long as the debt continues to grow, when that debt is written off, the city ends up losing a great deal more. Then, Mr. Speaker, in terms of disconnections, we note that the disconnections committee has been set up, but I think we really need to look at how we go about these disconnections when there are anomalies between Suprema and the current situation with RMS, and those two billing systems not being merged. We are now disconnecting customers who have legitimate agreements through the debt collection, prepaid debt recovery system, and that is unfair to those individuals as well. Mr. Speaker, when talking about indigent customers who are on the waiting list to have their indigent applications approved, the city has got to come up with a more proactive approach so that we can ring-fence debt and not disconnect those customers as well. We are also going to the process of debt collectors. We are using SIE and calling for court summons against customers. And when these customers have agreements with the municipality through the debt recovery program, and that is not collated between RMS and Suprema, it creates a challenge for these customers. And one of these fine days, the city may find itself before the courts because they have violated their own agreements. Mr. Speaker, all in all, the debt collection is something that the IFP will be continuing to monitor, and we hope that the recommendations that the IFP has given here and both at the portfolio committee level will be considered. The IFP will note these recommendations. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Shezi, are you now ready?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, it is for this council to note the report on debt collection as well as the performance of the revenue management unit with regard to the management of the council debtors book for the month of June 2025. It is being further noted that debt collection and debt strategy developed by the Revenue Management Directorate are being implemented on an ongoing basis, and that the council also notes the high-level summary which is here in attached. Also, Speaker, as I learned, it is for this council to note that the debt collection rate of 90% is achieved for the month of June, including the fact that the municipality has not achieved this in the past 4 years. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Shezi. Councillor Madlala, you are the last.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm largely covered by Councillor Shezi. However, I want to say that by stating facts, we are not defending. We are not saying there's no debt. There is debt, and it's outlined there, and it's a worrying factor that we have so much people that are owing the municipality. However, we don't have the luxury of then throwing the baby away with the bathwater. So we must acknowledge where we've notched victories, and we must consolidate where those victories are. And what we have done, because we can all complain about the situation, but it will take a few to make changes that will be effective in the long run. One is that we've engaged the services of the debt collection panel, which is working on the strategy, which has long-term and short-term goals to collect debt from all the people that are owing us money. In terms of the government departments that are and entities that are owing us money, you know that from last year, we were disconnecting them. At some point, there was a brouhaha about us disconnecting schools during exams and all of those things, because we're pursuing those who are owing us money and who must take responsibility for owing us money. And the engagement of such services is to ensure that everyone who owes us will pay us. But we must not ignore the fact that the majority of the people who owe us there, 73% of the people who owe us money, which is amounts to 29 billion rands, are members of the community, the households. And this is the point I was making earlier, that we know the situation out there. Most of those people cannot afford to pay us. Those who can afford to pay us, the debt collectors will pursue them and they will pay us. We will not see the results now because we've just engaged these services. But maybe this achievement of the debt collection rate in 4 years is an indication of that strategy starting to bear fruit. I want to acknowledge what Councillor Annie Penn was saying about the indigent police, that we need to put some rigor on the indigent police. And one of the reasons for that is because of the shortage of social workers. Because before, we are not experts in that field. We need social workers to assess a household and declare them as indigent. Therefore, they can then qualify to get into our indigent register, and therefore their debt will then be treated as such. Now, for that to happen, we need to put more rigor there. There are plans afoot to ensure that we get more social workers, and we put this as a focal point of our debt collection strategy. With that, the ANC support this report, and we welcome all the suggestions made by councillors, because we know, even though they are opposition, but they are part of this council, and some of them, if not most of them, really care about this city and about its prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillors, are the recommendations noted? Next item, City Manager.
Item number 1.7 on page 23, billing report for the month of 30 June 2025. Committee recommends.
1.7, page 23, few speakers. Councillor Anipen, you are number 1 with a minute from ACC added on the minute from UIM. Then Councillor Madlala, only 2 speakers in that order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, the IFP will note the report, but we want to raise some concerns here as well. The items in this report speak to the heart of our municipality's financial sustainability, but it also speaks to the relationship to every resident, between every resident and the city. Mr. Speaker, we raised a concern about the dispatching of bills. We all know that the South African Post Office is, at this stage, probably non-existent. And one of the things we find ourselves doing is having residents queue up at Sizakala centers wanting to get printouts. So this is actually a duplication of expenses. We pay to the post office to deliver mail, and then we have to spend money on ink and printer and paper and so forth, and duplicate the process. I think it's about time we take a serious decision and look at whether we can find alternative ways of dealing with this, either through a different contract or through in-house services, either through EPWP or so forth. But we've got to sort of use innovative ways now so that we stop spending money unnecessarily and duplicating payments. Mr. Speaker, I raised the concern of the councillor queries email. I raised it also at Finance Committee, and I think that we need stronger turnaround times at that email, because it does become frustrating for officials to deal with councillors who raise concerns for customers on their individual emails. So if the councillor queries email address is addressed properly, then we'll be able to do that. Mr. Speaker, we are delighted that the awareness program and the campaign around that is going a great deal forward. It's brought a lot of relief to customers all around the city. We hear reports all the time that these campaigns and awareness programs taken to communities, help customers who have been waiting for long times to see social workers, for example, to follow up on indigent applications, to follow up on water debt relief and so forth. And that is really, really commendable. A concern we have here, Mr. Speaker, is the issue of the water loss insurance. That contract came to an end at the end of June last year. And at the moment, we don't have a proper standard operating procedure on how residents who have been affected by water losses can make those claims. And I think it's going to become a challenge for the city if we don't bring a standard operating procedure for that in the immediate future. Mr. Speaker, the IFP is also concerned about the fact that we have lots of backlogs in terms of resolving queries as regards billing. We think that that needs to be addressed in a with greater speed, so that accounts do not continue to grow, areas charges do not continue to compound these customers, and then these customers are not left to go disconnected, because again, Mr. Speaker, we don't have a proper dispute mechanism system in the city. We do have a dispute initiation form, but unfortunately the process where that form is submitted and that account is supposed to be coded or put on hold does not follow through. So I think we need to also look at bringing in a more sustainable and evidence-based dispute resolution dispute resolution framework, so that we can assist and help customers who are in need in that regard. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, the IFP will support this recommendations.
Thank you, Councillor Anipen. Councillor Madlala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I will not say much except to say we are trying to move with the times, and in doing so and in acknowledgement of the problems that our customers and our residents have with regards to the receiving of bills through the mail, we've introduced the EThekwini Municipality app. It's an application that is found in all smartphones, be it you are using Android or using the iOS system. It is found there. We want to encourage, first and foremost, councillors to download the app and to make use of it, because you can use it to launch complaints, and also to deal with, to learn about the issues in the municipality, but also in order to deal with the billing. One, to get your own bill, but also to read your own meters and to do submissions and all of those. So we encourage councillors to make use of that, because they will then be able to assist the residents, because you can then lodge even a complaint for a third party in terms of that, but also it also helps in terms of the reception of your own bill, the paying of the bill, and the querying of your bills. We encourage councillors, we encourage our residents to use this opportunity for that. And if councillors need training in terms of how the application works, our offices are available. They can come forward and get that training. It's just a 10-minute crash course that will assist you to be able to assist members of the community who come to your office for such help. With that, we support the recommendation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Councillors, the recommendations are here for noting. They're all noted. Next item, Mr. Chairman.
On page 31 is item 1.8. Update report on the credit facility and the short-term overdraft facility with Nedbank as at 30th June 2025. Committee recommends.
Page 31, item 1.8. There are no speakers on this item. Yes, no speakers. Recommendations are here for noting. They are noted, councillors. Next item.
The next report is the report of Human Settlements, Engineering and Transport Committee from their meeting, which was held on the 23rd/7th, 2025. 2.1, Go Durban Implementation Progress Report and approval of revised implementation strategy in line with grant conditions. Committee recommends.
Right, I've got a number of speakers on the item. The first speaker will be Councillor Ben from the DA, Councillor Black, number 2 from DA, Councillor Mieni, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Kuala, number 4, Councillor Mwango, number 5, Councillor Mgwengwe, number 6. In that order, Councillor Ben.
Mr. Speaker, I have a reference back, please, to the committee from which this issue comes.
Okay.
It is written out. Would you like me to read it, or do you want to try reading my handwriting?
Yeah, I have to check first whether it meets all the requirements in terms of our rules before I invite you to do the motivation. Yes, thank you very much. I can confirm that there is a proposal to refer the item back from Councillor Penn, seconded by Councillor Black. I will now invite you, Councillor Penn, to do the motivation and to read the references back before you motivate.
Well, you've now got the copy of the reference back, but the reference back is simply to say that it gets referred back to the Human Settlements Engineering.
It says it's page 33, item 2.1. For further consideration in full after presentation by officials to party caucuses. That is the reason why the reference back is being proposed.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can I speak to it now?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me say at the outset that the DA believes that there is some merit in the piecemeal approach which is being suggested. But the DA also believes that the recommendations which are being presented to Council for adoption are too vague and too incomplete to be adopted. The DA would therefore like the proposals to be referred back to the Human Settlements, Engineering and Transport Committee so that officials can do presentations to party caucuses to answer our queries and to satisfy party caucuses that the proposals are worthy of support. I note that the summary report to Council in the agenda traces the roots of Go Durban back to April 2012. I was a newly elected councillor back then, and I remember the interest in the wide-ranging proposals for what was then called an IRPTN, Integrated Rapid Public Transport Network. Sadly, like so much of the planning and good intentions of the political and administrative leadership of this municipality, over the last 15 years or so, the intended end result remains a distant pipe dream. Money has been spent, lots of it. Many things have been built, but none of it has been used for the purpose for which the money was spent. And here we are, over 14 years later, trying desperately to breathe, but none of it has been used for the purpose for which the money was spent. And here we are, over 14 years later, trying desperately to breathe some life into the proposals which have been built.
When listening to your argument, it looked now you are debating the item. If I listen to your argument, we are no longer proposing a reference back. You are now debating the item. Let's separate the two.
Mr. Speaker,
Let's separate the two. Let's deal with the reference back and the motivation. If you want to speak on the substantive item, you can be given a chance to argue further. But let's deal with the reference back. Please confine yourself on that, because I can see now that you are debating the item. Please proceed.
indeed, I am trying to persuade members to do the reference back, but I'll hold my fire for the substantive motion if the reference back is not passed. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you. Let's deal with that. You'll come back to debate on the substantive item if you like to.
Except, Mr. Speaker, if one adopts that approach, then by the time I'm getting to address the merits of the matter, I've missed the opportunity to persuade colleagues to support the reference back. That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm not stopping you. I'm trying to guide you, that you can motivate. But I'm saying I'm picked up in your motivation that you are debating the item. I'm not stopping you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll continue then. In reality, the municipality has plowed 9 billion rand into building infrastructure which is still unusable. And the reasons why it's still unusable is because no one has yet been able to come up with some credible calculations of what the fares would have to be to make the system viable. In the budget document about 6 or so years ago, when Chris Kumar was still the DCM for Finance, it was reported that in order to implement Go Durban, as it was then envisaged, the rates randages across the board would have to be increased by an additional 8% to generate the required revenue to subsidize Go Durban. So one would think that in bringing this proposal back to the table, someone would have thought about the figures. But yet again, the key component of the whole concept, the rands and cents of the proposals, are not in the proposal. You can read the preamble very carefully, but you won't find any cash flow projections. You can also read the recommendations themselves very carefully to look for cash flow projections, but you won't find anything there either. You'd think that you'd find the cash flow projections in the financial implications footnotes, but no, there aren't any cash flow projections there either. In the last paragraph, you get a hint of what is to come when the word liabilities is used for the first time. But you have to read the very last bullet point at the bottom of page 36 before you get to the following statement. The EThekwini Transport Authority is preparing a fiscal impact assessment and is engaging National Department of Transport, KZN Department of Transport on addressing these issues and to avoid unfunded mandates. Mr. Speaker, that is just not good enough. Council cannot adopt a suite of proposals at this stage and then work out the viability afterwards. The DA therefore requests that all these recommendations be referred back to the Human Settlements, Engineering and Transport Committee for further consideration after officials have done presentations to party caucuses. That's the basis for the reference back, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Penn, for that. Councillors,
Mr. Speaker.
is the proposal to refer back the item supported?
No.
No.
Let me have the screen, please. We are now voting no movement. Let's close the door. Secretariat, are you ready? Okay, thank you. The reference back has been presented and read. A motivation has been made. Council have to decide whether the item be referred back or not. We'll start with those who are in support of the proposal to refer the item back to the committee. Please raise your board.
Umtshelo Nkosi.
Thank you very much. You can lower your hands. Order. Those who are voting against the proposal,
Ngibona umuntu ngitshontsha izinqa.
Waza biyela, waza biyela.
Itheko sasivele silithathe kanje kwasekuqaleni. Silithatha kanje itheko.
thank you. Ngahlisa izandla. Those who abstain, Those who abstain? Thank you. Please, let's add the numbers. Right. Let's maintain order. Order, Hlengwa. Order.
No, it's not me.
Not you.
Yeah, you can hear my voice.
Okay. Uzuhluphe kakhulu. Noma ngahlupheka kuyasoleka. Yes, those who are in support of the reference back, the number is 54. Those who are against, the number is 96. Those who abstain, the number is 0. It means the proposal to refer back, the item is not supported by council. Thank you very much. We'll now go back to the substantive item. I'm not sure, Ben, do you want to debate?
I'm done, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, done.
Councillor Black will address the matter further.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mieni?
Councillor Black
Oh,
was on
okay.
this, sorry.
Of course, you're number 2, I remember. Apologies. Councillor Gay Black?
No worries, we're all human, thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, colleagues. All protocols observed. I'm quite disappointed that the referral back has not been approved. Based on sort of quite a bit, if you have a look on page 35, you have statuses all ticked off and an exit at the bottom, industry transitions. Negotiations have not commenced. But then if you look at the buses, no confirmation of any buses purchased. We've still got 3 kilometers of sector C to do. In 2023, round about March, they started the tactical planning, what they called the tactical planning for Go Durban. And they started public participation. On the 10th of October in 2023, it was pushed through very quickly because October's transport month, so the mayor could go and have his corridor opening breakfast where some councillors got to go on the A bus, but it has yet to take a passenger, and it was supposed to be the official opening of the C corridor. 2 years later, we're now sitting where that tactical plan is against Treasury's grant approval. So Treasury has already held back 50% of the last financial year's grant until we fall in line. There's been several meetings in March, May, and it ended up with a presidential meeting, which we all know cost a lot of money, in May. So at this stage, we have not really got a proper formulated plan. We look like we're going in the right direction, but I still urge people to reconsider whether we vote on this as a yes, because we need facts and figures. Right now, we have 9 billion. And if we stop the project right now, that's sunk money gone. But it is such an important project for the livelihoods of South Africans, and it is incredibly important for the residents of Durban to be able to access jobs outside their living area. The other thing that I would like to also point out, Speaker, is, sorry, I've just lost my train of thought, give me a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, we have to continue. It is important that we continue, but we cannot continue with this open-ended, non-financial, knowing exactly how much it's going to cost. We haven't even had money yet. I looked on the EThekwini website on comments when it was open for public participation, and the comments were, you're looking at the wrong stakeholders. The stakeholders are the residents of eThekwini. But we're right now paying 50% of the taxi industry's security. 5 of them in 2023, but it was expected to grow to 15. How much are we spending, and have they actually paid their 50% of their personal security that the municipality is paying for? This is money, ratepayers' money that we are responsible for. We need to be held accountable, and we need to know exactly where the money has gone and how much has been spent. Thank you. I submit.
Thank you very much, Councillor Black. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you Somlomo. Njenga National Freedom Party siyalisupporta kakhulu lolu hlelo luka Go Durban. Siyafisa futhi ukuthi njengoba seluqhubeka ne-implementation plan sikwazi ukuqinisa kakhulu ama relations ethu nemboni yezokuthutha ngoba siyazi ukuthi lolu hlelo inhloso enkulu yalo ukuthi izothuthukisa inqalazinda. Siyazi ukuthi yobani abasebenzisa i-public transport nakule debate kuyacaca ukuthi obani abasesayidini labantu naba against abantu. Kubalekile ukuthi uma ngabe siqhubeka nalolu hlelo sicela ukuthi kuhlezi kuba khona ama reports mhlambe sizowathola quarterly ngeprogress ukuze sikwazi ukwenza i-oversight epheleleyo njengale council. Siyabonga Somlomo. The item is indeed supported.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Mncwango.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Now it's cut some. Just long as it's cut.
Uthe uhamba nini konje?
Speaker, ngicela ukuza umadlala. No, thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, earlier we had discussion on strategic risk plan and also audit report. Now, this council have just missed the opportunity to show the willingness of playing oversight. To vote against the reference back just because who moved it shows that there's a lack of maturity to some in this council and not willing to play proper oversight. Because we are sitting here.
Councillor Mncwango, order, let me address this. Councillor Mncwango, you can't say if councillors are voting on an item that it means there's a lack of maturity. Order. Now, so that there's order in the house, can you please withdraw that and continue the debate?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Withdrawn. Honourable Speaker, we must remember the word RMS. What happened? Some of us will remember exactly that these kind of recommendations will always come and be explained why it's so important to continue with RMS. What happened finally to RMS? Where is it today? How much we had to write off? Now, the question raised by Warren Ben here about the budget, what are we expecting here to spend? It's a valid question that councillors should be worried about. Now, I won't repeat the word, but it's a concern that this project from 2007, when it began, to date, we have spent more than 9 billion, and there's no bus going on this Go Durban. Now, we were promised, with all this fancy English, around 2016, that Go Durban will go on C3. Till to date, nothing. And we are then expected to sit here and expect and approve the blank check, because that's what actually you are being asked here. The reference back would have helped us actually to engage and understand what's going to happen moving forward. Now, as Action SA, we find ourselves in a position where we really have to oppose or vote against this recommendation on a basis it's not clear. And also, you don't even say, why are you hiding buses? Buses have been rotten now But this city will hide those buses. These stations are leaking when it rains. We're spending money on security, and I can bet right now, on the speaker, it should take the next 10 years, there will be no bus going in Durban. This Go Durban will never go in our lifetime. And the way we are continuing, nothing will ever happen when ANC is still in power in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. The time is up already. Councillor Mngwengwe. Okay. No, I made a mistake here. Kuala?
What does some law full of Vala?
Oh, no, I'm getting funny list like it appear. I made a mistake. You should have came after me. Councillor Kuala?
Thanks, Slalo. It's a pity most of the councillors whom came in council in 2011, meaning 15 years ago, approved this implementation strategy for Go Durban IPTN, but still Go Durban didn't go. The infrastructure also need a rehabilitation specifically on the C3. You ask yourself, what was the main purpose of this from the word go? Angifuni ke ukukhuluma izinto noma izethembiso ezenziwa umnyango kubantu nakithi njengabahlonishwa. We've been promised as a progress also a compensation to the citizen along the C3 corridor okuyi legacy fund. The legacy fund was tabled to human settlement as a huge amount of 300 million. That was going to assist citizens whom were affected when the construction took place. Of late, it was tabled again as 30 million. But even today, we don't know what the progress report on the legacy fund. As a council, it will assist us while we are approving the revised implementation strategy to understand everything pertains to this Go Durban implementation progress report. The DA was quite correct if they said this must go back for further clarities. But this GNU is denying that. I'm not sure what GNU is this that denies an opinion of the partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuala Mngwengwe.
No, siyabonga Somlomo. I-challenge la Somlomo. Mhlambe lama reports mefika la council. Afike ngabhaliwe ngesintu sethu. Bese kuba nenkinga ukuwaqonda. This report is here after a tactical adjustment was presented to the council in 2022 and approved by council.
Order, Somlo.
Yes, point of order.
Uyaphazama umzala la uthi isingisi asisazi. Ade ngikhuluma isingisi bona.
No, ngempela speaker, asikwazi ukuzo-attend umhlangano wakho kodwa kuthiwa i-agenda siyi-understand. Sifunani phola?
Okay.
Seriously, sifunani emhlanganweni wakho speaker ngoba kuthiwa i-agenda siyi-understand.
Kick him out.
Okay.
Sibaphucela i-committee to and service.
Thank you, Somlomo.
Councillor Mngwengwe, proceed with the debate, but you must choose your words carefully.
Thank you. Somlomo, as I've said, the tactical adjustment was presented to council and it was approved. Along the way, as the council, we found it difficult, not because Treasury was against the tactical adjustment, but because they felt it was not in line with some of their policies. Then after the intervention of the presidential task team, there was a recommendation that as EThekwini Municipality, we must review, which we are presenting it today, it's a review of our strategy for us to engage with our stakeholders so we can realize our goal, which is Go Durban. We are not denying that like there are things that needs to be fixed, but like for today, it has nothing to do with the infrastructure as some they've mentioned before. I want to say again, Somlom, parties must send the correct people in supporting committees. This matter was presented to a supporting committee. The
No,
supporting
point of order,
committee,
Speaker. Point of order,
Point of
Speaker.
order.
Order, Speaker.
Point of
Order,
order.
Speaker. Councillor Nxumalo.
Nxumalo.
No, Speaker. You know, ngicabanga ukuthi uKhansela Mngwenge akawulalela umyalelo wakho ukuthi akakhetha amagama akhe. Speaker, onke amakhansela ngokuhlukana kwamakomiti, onke athunywa ngokufaneleyo. Ngakho-ke angazi ukuthi ubone ukuthi mhlampe ikomiti la kwa-human settlement amakhansela khona awafanele ukuba khona. Nguye yedwa nje right. That is wrong.
Nwango.
Speaker, it's the same order. I think Councillor Mngwenge must draw what akusho. Akadraw nje manje. Njoba nje kwenzeka kwakuthina na akadraw. Wrong la ishoyo.
Right, thank you, thank you. No, the point of order, Councillor Nxumalo, is sustained in Nwango, but let's do this. If Councillor Mngwengwe is out of order, as we have raised, I've made a ruling that your order is sustained. But it's also wrong for Councillor Mngwengwe to umkhomba ngomunye kanje. It's not a part of the way we handle things. Yeah, you say Councillor Mngwengwe speaker is out of order, as you have said, Nxumalo, but not point fingers, because that is
Abadidekile.
Order, order.
Submit your hands on up.
Babili, esinese kuphela.
Baxakekile uxabu.
Unqangu usedayise ne-ADA. Unqangu.
Thank you. Those who abstain. Those who abstain.
Uyayibona isystem yomncwango. Omncwango madoda we.
Kade yamqala idiye umncwango.
Bamkhathalisa isitini.
Thank you very much. Let's add the numbers. Right. Those who are in support of the recommendations, the number is 114. Those who voted against, the number is 2. Those who abstained, the number is 39. Therefore, the recommendation have been supported. They will go through. Thank you. City Manager, next item.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The next report is the report of the Governance and Human Resources Committee from their meeting which was held on the 25th of the 7th, 2025. Item 3.1, request for extension of the current Memorandum of Understanding between EThekwini Municipality and Department of Home Affairs. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, City Manager. Are the recommendations agreed, councillors? Thank you.
Item 3.2, request for authority for the City Manager to enter into a Memorandum of Understanding between EThekwini Municipality and the Department of Science and Innovation to enable the implementation of the viability and validations of innovations of service delivery program. Committee recommends.
There are no speakers on these items. Page 38, item 3.2. Are all the recommendations agreed? Thank you.
Item number 4, report of the Economic Development and Planning Committee from their meeting, which was held on the 25th of the 7th. Item 4.1, municipal entities, council to commit to the entity status of a going concern. Committee recommends.
Right. First speaker, Action SA, Councillor Zuma, 2 minutes from MKP and Independent, and Councillor P. Ndlovu, ANC. Only 2 speakers. Councillor Zuma.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we raise serious concerns about the ongoing financial bailouts of Ushaga Marine World and the misguided confidence that it will continue trading as going concern. Last month, this council approved a 40 million cash injection to keep Ushaga Marine afloat. This is not an isolated incident. 4 years ago, former Mayor Kawunda revealed that 160 million was injected into the entity to save it from collapse. On top of that, an additional 6 million was allocated to research how it could reinvent itself and attract new visitors. Despite these massive investments, Ushaga Marine continues to decline. The municipality is committing a further 134 million to keep it operational. Ushaga Marine World should be a premier tourist attraction, a vibrant destination drawing families, school groups, and tourists from across the globe. However, it has become a ghost of its former glory. This is deeply concerning. Speaker, people don't travel to Durban for Ushaga Marine alone. They come for the full coastal experience for our beaches. But even our beaches have been rendered unsafe due to ongoing sewage spill and dangerous high levels of E. coli. Tourists want to enjoy clean beaches, yet they are welcomed by polluted water that smells foul. We cannot speak about saving Ushaga Marine World without acknowledging that its success is directly tied to the state of our tourism. The city must urgently prioritize repairing sewage infrastructure. Without clean beaches, we will lose tourists. And when tourism suffers, Ushaga Marine World suffers too. Let's not forget the broader context. High level of crime continue to plague the city. While we acknowledge some progress in addressing waste disposal in Durban, but the city still remains dirty. These conditions are just an eyesore. They actively discourage visitors and damage our international reputation as a travel destination. How does the municipality arrive at a conclusion that Ushaga Marine is going concern? Under these unfortunate and worsening conditions, this conclusion is simply not logical. One can only hope that the business plan for Marine World attached at the end of this agenda will be implemented and will work to revitalize the theme park and will not be a tick box exercise. However, we do note this item. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndlovu.
Thank you, Somlomo. Ngizothanda ngokuqala ukuthi it's very important if you're going to speak on an item that you do a proper research and don't read what is written without checking the facts. I just want to correct the later speaker when they say that Ushaga has now been reduced to a white elephant. The stats that have been released lately clearly states that Ushaga Marine Theme Park is the one that is most visited. It's fact, if you research, you will find that. I think earlier on when Councillor Madala spoke, he did indicate what had led to some of the challenges as far as the ICC is concerned, which was the issue of Hilton. So, and I think again, Speaker, in your opening remarks, you also alluded on the fact that we are now part of World Trade Center. So this for us is to prove that there's a turnaround strategy on how the entities need to improve on how they are performing. Somlom, again, I think we all aware that there is a turnaround strategy for Ushaga. And for those reasons, we are saying this is our entities and we note that there are concerns, but we definitely are here to assist and support our entities to overcome their challenges. As the ANC, we say this remains our pride and joy as the city, and we support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndlovu. Recommendations are on page 40. 4.1.1 is for noting. Is noted, councillors. 4.1.2 is for approval. Is agreed, councillors. Thank you. Next item, City Manager.
Freedom from Post abstains.
Okay, thank you. 4.2. Page 41.
Ngizwinto enjalo nje ikhulunywa ehlahleni. Ngizoyifunda ke le item senziwe removal. U4.2. Bambuze futhi. Ngizongathi bathi kuthiwa ethe i-region ayibuye.
Ngizokuthiwa le item, ile item wabe yabafana ngithona. Chuta ngisho mina wabe ifaka.
We support. We support the outdoor.
Okay, City Manager.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Item 4.2, request for approval to appoint 2 directors of the Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much. Item 4.2, page 41. There are no speakers on this item. Councillor Hlomunga, your hand is up. Are you raising your hand? Okay. Okay. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
No.
No.
Okay. Let's divide the house. Let me have the screen, please. Right, no movement. We are voting now. Councillors, don't go out. We are voting. Close the door. Those who are in support of the recommendation, raise your vote.
Sokuthola wena Vukani.
Usibariwa Dlibongolo.
Thank you, siyabonga. Ningahlisa izandla. Those who voting against? Those who voting against? Those who abstain?
Usibani.
Hey,
Kacheni.
the EFF and the DA.
This
One
is
common thing for
history.
the first time.
This is history.
Yeah, history and bad.
Kick them out, Speaker.
It's a new GNU coming up.
Kale history, let's hope izoqhubeka.
Nanduba MK uyanikela nje. MK uyanikela nje isikhathi kuphela.
Bayazi abahlala bamvotela kwenza nje.
Kachena mbola ndingana.
Socela ugodole. Udla kahle umncwango ngama-minute abo.
Thank you, Order. Those who are in support of the item, 89. Those who are against, 0. Those who are abstain, 61. The recommendations will go through. Thank you very much. City Manager, next item.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Next item is Durban Marine Theme Park Feasibility Study and Authority to disperse funding for 25-26. Committee recommends.
Right, we're on page 42, item 4.3. On this, yes, Councillor Hlomuga. The microphone is.
Khwehlela. Speaker, sicela i-referral back to the committee as the ANC for this item.
Okay, can I have the form properly filled, seconded, so that we are in order?
Kwaza mkhonto.
But maybe to save time while we are waiting for the formal proposal to refer the item back, we can allow councillors to motivate the reason. I'm trying to manage time because while we are waiting to fill up the form so that we're in order, we can just allow councillors to convince council why the matter should be referred back.
No speaker for further engagement and clarities to the committee.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. May I have the form, please? Councillors, there is a proposal from Councillor Hlomuga to refer this item back for further deliberation at a committee level.
Supported.
Is that proposal supported?
Supported.
Okay, there's no objection, it's fine. Thank you very much. We will wait for the form for record purposes. It means the item, page 41, item 4.3 will officially or formally refer back to the committee for further deliberation. City Manager, next item.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
can I please point out to you that the process you adopted for an ANC reference back was completely opposite to the process you insisted on when I did the reference back. You insisted that you had the form before you'd consider it, but when it's an ANC motion, you deal with the issue without even seeing the form.
You know,
Just putting it on record, sir.
No.
Just
That
putting
is
it
a
on
form,
record.
Order. I understand your concern, Councillor Ben, and it's genuine. And I've explained that I'm managing time. I've already guided them to fill up the form. The form is coming with the proposer and the seconder. But order. There's no need for me to suspend the council while I'm waiting for the form. I'm managing time. You see, but nevertheless,
Asset Right Management Directorate Committee recommend.
5.1.
On 5.1.
5.1.
5.1. Oh, sorry. It's the report of the Trading Services Committee from their meeting held on the 28th of the 7th, 2025. Item 5.1, noting of reasons to amend contract number PSC 2021/003 in terms of section 1163 of the Local Government Municipal Finance Management Act of 2003 for professional services contract for the provision of design and construction monitoring of park reservoir inlet and outlet metering.
yeah, thank you.
Committee recommends.
Before I take the three speakers, Councillor Tomuga has submitted the reference back. As I've said earlier, in line with the rules, it has been accepted already, Councillor Ben. They can take it to you to confirm. You can take it to him, please. Oh, okay. You want to give you assurance? Okay. No, in fact, we are making an allegation that the ANC is treated differently. And I've said to you, I have no intention to do that. I have a bigger responsibility to drive council. That's why I'm saying I can show you.
Mr. Speaker,
I'm not being biased.
It's not the intention, it's the effect
Okay.
of
This
preference.
guy is emotional.
Okay. It's fine if you are fine. Yeah. Thank you. Councillor E. Smith, you are number 1 on this item. Councillor Mgwengwe, you are number 2.
Yes. Good day, Speaker. As the City Manager highlighted, this item seeks to address the reasons to amend contract PSC 2021/03 in terms of section 1163, where it solely addresses the period of performance and the professional service contract, which involves the design and construction of monitoring of reservoir meters across the city on both inlet and outlet lines. Now, our understanding is that this project is at an advanced stage of its life cycle where the successful rollout and completion is dependent on the period of performance being extended. It is important to us as the DA that the city needs to implement cost-saving measures and plans in order across its service units, such as EWS, as to best address the non-revenue issues, which are literally being flushed down the drain. The implementation of the water metering allows us to effectively tally the amount of water which is actually supplied to the city and what is being supplied to the communities across the city. What we caution, and please take this as an effective warning, is that we need to ensure that with our service units, especially with this metering of the water, that it needs to be maintained, effectively serviced, and assets protected going forward. Otherwise, this will be a waste of money and eventually become irregular expenditure over the long term. It's important that going forward, that the service units such as EWS and electricity be supported by our other units, and that they are supported effectively, because the amount of turnaround strategies that we have in the city is becoming quite a laugh, because every unit is eventually adopting it now. And as my colleague said a short while ago, to have a turnaround strategy, effectively means that the way that we've been doing business to this point has been highly problematic. Why these points, these aspects, why these ideas weren't considered 10 or 15 years ago is beyond question. That can only show that people either haven't been paying attention, that we've been losing money as a city. Effectively, we need to ensure that we capacitate our units. The residents of this municipality are asking, they are pleading, and they've gotten to the point of demanding that their money that they pay in rates and taxes is used effectively and not flushed down the drain, that bursts don't happen every second day. Essentially, the turnaround strategies that this speaks to is the same one that's telling EThekwini Municipality, naughty, naughty. You haven't been doing everything right to this point. Now fix it. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the red, and that we can't recover from. Mr. Speaker, the residents are now demanding. The ratepayers are demanding because they've been watching, they've been waiting, and they are saying enough is enough. We want our value for money. We are tired of paying and paying only to see burst pipes and water flushed down the drain, to have the bills given to us that are bloated. While we support this initiative, Mr. Speaker, we must also caution that if you don't, and I say this to everybody in this room, that if you don't start taking these measures seriously, that if you don't start putting the political will where your mouth is, because a lot of people have been having a lot of mouth today, if you don't start putting your votes where they're supposed to be and stop betraying the trust of the people of this municipality, we are going to end up with the short end of the stick. Mr. Speaker, with that, the deal will support in this item.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Mgwengwe.
Somlomo, ngicabanga ukuthi kufundeke kabi ukhansela uNdlovu wa Trading Services.
Thank you, Somlomo. Ngibonga kakhulu
No, we don't do that. No, we don't do that. If it is not Mgwengwe, it means there's none. Because it's Mgwengwe here, we can't do those changes. We have to be formal and be procedural. Councillors, are the recommendations agreed? Next item, Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The next item is on page 49.
47, 5.2.
5.2, request for approval for asset write-off, Energy Management Directorate. Committee recommends.
Right, 47, 5.2. Councillor E. Smith, you are number 1. Councillor S. Zuma, you are number 2. 2 minutes from MKP and the Independent. I hope they are still part of the meeting, that side. Okay, thank you.
Speaker?
Councillor Smith?
Sorry, Speaker, can you please check your list? I was also listed as a speaker on that item.
Yeah, my office will check, will confirm that. The Secretariat will check that. Smith, you are on the floor.
Hello again, Speaker and colleagues and everybody watching. The item before us seeks to write off various tools, vehicles, storage units, stock items, such as LV and MV cables, transformers, ring main units, auto doses, jointing buckets, high proximity testers, and other stock that the department owns. Now, while the department should be keeping an active register of all of their assets, one starts to ask some basic questions around administration. When presented with these type of reports as to what the DA requested in committee, why was this information not collated in a manner which categorizes the information according to its function? For example, any tools which are categorized, which falls under the category of a jack, a grinder, a multimeter, a hammer drill, or a hoist for that matter. Why don't they be categorized according under headings titled tools? Simple, basic administrative issue. Following that, why is it not we take our desks, our chairs, our small tables, our cabinets, as well as anything under that heading, and put it accordingly under there? Why is it that we cannot even do that basic story? Categorizing information, colleagues, it allows information to be presented to us in sitting committees, such as trading services, by the various departments that sit there, all right? It allows us to categorize what type of resources are we referring to, what type of subcategories allow us to be able to see what is in this list, and allows us to effectively hold the departments accountable and actually do effective oversight on what is being presented to us. Unfortunately, there seems to be a certain reluctance by the committee to categorize these 300 some odd pages into functional categories, which allow us to quantify how many cables fall into this category of stolen, misplaced, or reached end of its lifespan. Functional categories, which allow us to quantify how many cables misplaced or reached end of. However, this was a question of why not? What are people trying to hide? Why have the amount of cases of theft that was stated in the initial report, that as well as vandalism, why were they not highlighted? Why were they not quantified? Why were the outcomes not placed in the report for this whole council to consider? Why were they seemingly omitted is the question. Because that begs the question of accountability. Who are we holding accountable? When are we holding them accountable? And what has been done to date? But no, the silence is there, unfortunately. Colleagues, I don't think everybody understands this. When it's presented to the public, the faith in this municipality is shaken. The facts of the matter was that this information wasn't there. I remind this council that not so long ago, we had 52 streetlights which we found near Cozy Bay. And according to the newspaper article, it left senior officials scratching their heads as to how people evaded the CCTV cameras. Again, it speaks to the same report. What has been stolen? What has been vandalized? And how is it happening? The wall of silence continues. So the question still stands. Why would we as a committee or council approve this list until the matter has been effectively debated, interrogated, until the report has been effectively presented to the same committee? Unfortunately, that wasn't done. We have cables, fire equipment, substation components, all of these which carry intrinsic value. How can any councillor in this house say yes, that they are comfortable in writing off $500 million from the unit when we don't know what an example, or what a PL class A30H is, or a PL class B1UG, or a PL class A4? What is that? Yes, perhaps it is the boogeyman coming. No one in this house can clarify what these items are, yet we are considering writing this off. Does that make logical or financial sense? I don't think so. So is that responsible? Is the committee, or the members of that committee who voted in favor of this, do you think this is a responsible and effective leadership? You think pushing through and wasting money, taxpayers' money, the same residents, you think it's responsible? In 2 pages, page 182 and 183 of the report,
Order.
Councillors, order.
If I can
Councillor
continue,
Smith is on the floor debating. Let's allow him to debate.
Yeah, I'm going to wait. Right. If I can continue, Chair.
Time up.
Yes, must continue.
Right. For the first 2 pages You already have 32 million. Sorry, Chair, can I be protected from the noise, please, because I'm being disrupted?
Yes, you are. Please proceed.
Right.
Order, councillors, order.
The report doesn't clarify what these items are. Yet when raised in the committee, the matter was treated with contempt. Yet the same members in the committee who are supposed to be displaying effective leadership and oversight pushed the item through. You don't even know what you're voting for. Passing this to council, and if anybody votes on this item, you are choosing to vote for something you have no idea on.
But Councillor Smith, are you addressing members of your committee, or are you addressing council?
I'm addressing you, Chair.
Because council is still debating the item. We have not yet made a decision whether to approve or to disapprove. Now you are saying you are voting.
That's why I said considering 5 times,
Yeah.
Chair. If I may continue, Chair.
We have not yet voted, remember. You are still trying to persuade us.
That's why I said considering 5 times, Chair.
Okay, proceed.
Right. The information that's given to us, let's pass this and get the information later. It doesn't fly by us. We do not support that type of ideology. However, the DA is not against the processes of the municipality. One must always bear in mind that these type of things must be interrogated and investigated. Colleagues, I told her when. As custodians, we are elected to serve in the best interest.
Order,
Can I be
order,
protected,
order,
Chair?
order,
Can I be protected?
order. Councillor Smith. Smith, listen. You are on the floor.
Yes,
No one is disturbing you. You are now disturbing yourself.
he is disturbing me.
No. If you are being disturbed, you bring that to the attention of the speaker. To get my point?
Yes.
Because now, just to talk there without me hearing what is an issue, we are becoming out of order.
I'm about to finish, Chair.
Yeah, no. You must maintain order here. Otherwise, you will forfeit your right to speak if you insist as if you are wrong. We are correct by defending yourself.
Let me finish.
Namhlanje ugezile.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Smith, order, can you please proceed? Please be disciplined.
The DA will be supporting this. I mean,
Thank you, Councillor Zuma.
apologies, colleagues, sorry, we are voting against it, sorry.
Order, Councillor Zuma is on the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I have been
Sorry,
covered
Chair.
by the former Speaker.
Point of order, Chair.
Okay, you've been covered.
Minus ukuthetha kwakhe. But Speaker, our primary concern is the glaring lack of transparency
Okay.
surrounding these write-offs. The municipality has not indicated whether any of these assets were stolen or vandalized internally or externally, and more importantly, whether any consequences followed. We were left in the dark. Were police reports filed for stolen or vandalized equipments? Have there been any arrests or disciplinary action, particularly in instances where internal misconduct was involved? How much has been lost in both value and function to theft or negligence? The city seems to be operating as though public assets are disposable. There appears to be no serious efforts to investigate or deter those disregarding municipal property. Instead, these losses are simply written off quietly and without accountability, as if they are just numbers on paper rather than critical equipment that residents rely on. These assets are this sets a dangerous precedent, It communicates to both municipal staff and the public that there is no consequences for damaging or stealing public property that cost ratepayers millions of rands. Speaker, we cannot accept a system where assets are written off without proper audit trails, without reporting, and without consequences. This is not poor, this is just poor government. It is also betrayal of public trust. As actionists say, we cannot in good conscience support this item. We will vote against it, Speaker. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Ndlovu, under.
Thank you very much, Somlomo. Umuntu uzoba nenkinga ukhuluma emva kof state of the council address kodwa ke sozama ukuthi ngihlale epointini. La emkhandlwini si namakhebulu ngaphansi komnyango wakagesi. Kunamakhebulu aseneminyaka efakiwe. Amanye ayefaka ngo-1960s. So ube khona amakhebulu ane lifespan ka 30 years. I think ike apherisheka lapha umubuka under EThekwini Energy Management ukuthi sinama 120 HV substations, but sibe nabantu sibe nalawa ane lifespan ka 30 years. Then sibe nezimoto ezintshontshiwe emkhandlwini. Zonke ke izimoto siyaqonda ukuthi zine insurance. Imoto ezintshontshiwe zakhokhelwe zayizikade zintshontshiwe through i-corporate njengoba sazi ukuthi i-department ayithengele imoto. But into esi-writer off la, si-writer off kakhulu amakhebuli. Then lawa esikhala ngokuthi aphelelwe lifespan and uma ubuka in terms of i-book value okuningi ku-zero value in terms of amabhuku ngoba ku depreciate ngenxa yesikhathi osekusihlalile kukhona. So ke ANC siyayisupporta ngoba uma sinalama item evela under i-fixed asset register eziyomkhandlu noma kuthiwa wasekho kuthina kodwa kumele evele ku-asset register siwakhokhela ku-insurance ukuthi abe insured. So lokho kwenza ukuthi amabhuku omkhandlu angami kahle siphinde futhi simoshe imali la kufanele ngabe asiyisebenzisi khona. So le item siyayisupporta kakhulu ANC. Siyabonga kakhulu Somlomo.
Thank you very much, councillors. The recommendations are on page 48, at the bottom of the page. They are
Point of
all
order, Speaker.
approved.
Point of order, Speaker.
Yes.
I did request at the beginning.
Okay. Apologies, I should have responded. The email we received from Yokis have got only one name, Smith. You are not part of the list.
Thanks.
Are the resolution agreed, councillors?
No.
Okay. Let's have the screen, please. No movement. We are voting now. Yeah, those who are in support of the recommendations, raise your board.
Oza EFF.
Siyeza infrastructure
Ozan. Siza executive team.
but it's a new go Durban manje.
Right. Thank you very much, Zandla. Those who are voting against.
MK didekile.
Angizuwenza intando yakho.
Sisalinde uba.
Independent, xa bethi engempela
Those are against.
Right, those who are in support, 77. Those who are against, 58. Those who abstain, 1. It means the recommendations will be carried through. Next item, City Manager.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. On to the direct reports. Item number 6, approval of the amended rules of order bylaw for 2014. Committee recommends.
Okay, thank you. There is a note here for a request to refer back the item to the committee. This is from Councillor Madlala, seconded by Councillor Sukabase. Item 6 on page 49 referred to the ESCO. The reference back is for procedural alignment and legal vehicle. Madala, we can see your hand. Can I invite you to present your reference back and your motivation?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think it says there we request council to approve a reference back of the item to the Executive Committee for procedural, speak.
I think it's alignment.
Oh yes, for procedural alignment and legal rigor.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You are is like that.
Yes. Yeah, no, I wanted to say exactly how it's written there.
Okay.
Thank you very much. What we are trying to do, Honorable Speaker, is that there was an oversight when we passed that item at the Executive Committee. There are some procedural alignments that we need to deal with, but also through a discussion with legal, it became apparent that we need to polish up on some of the aspects of the report before it can then come back to serve at the council. We don't want to burden council with what we can do as a smaller body at the Executive Committee. That is our prayer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The proposal to refer the item back, the motivation has been presented. Is the proposal supported?
Agree.
Okay, thank you. The item will be removed and be referred back to the Executive Committee. City Manager.
Item number 7 on page 55, draft process plan for the 26-27 integrated development plan. Committee recommends.
Are the recommendations agreed? Next item.
Item number 8 on page 56, feedback report on notices of motion carried by the Municipal Council. Committee recommends.
Page 56, there are no speakers. Are the recommendations agreed? It's for noting, is noted. Thank
Page
you.
62, item number 9, approval of the final 2024-2025 EThekwini Municipal Adjustment Budget. Committee recommends.
Right, page 62, I've got few speakers. Councillor Beck, there, number 1. Councillor Kwala, you are number 2. Councillor Madlala, you are number 3. In that order.
Sorry, Samlo.
Yes?
Can we move an amendment on this one?
Yes, you can, Councillor Kwala.
I think I've sent an amendment.
Oh, okay. Let me check with my team. Right, the page 62, item 9. This is an amendment from Councillor Kwala, which read as follows. He proposed that we remove approval and replace it with ratification. Moved by Councillor Kwala, supported by Councillor Ngumalo. Indeed, it is in line with the rules of order. Councillor Kwala, can you briefly motivate?
Thanks, Chair. In essence, Section 28 of the MFMA provides a mechanism for municipalities to adapt their budget to changing circumstances during the financial year, ensuring financial management remains responsive and realistic. So we are here in 2025-2026 financial year. Then we are about to approve a budget of the 2024-2025 financial year, of which, if we say we rectify of a final 2024-2025 EThekwini Municipality adjustment budget, it will be correctly so. I thank you.
Okay, the proposal is to amend approval to ratification. Is the proposed amendment supported, Councillors Mandala?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Speaker, for indulging me. I don't want us to vote before we seek legal opinion on the use of terminology, because whatever term we use has legal implication, whether we are approving an adjustment budget or we are ratifying. I know that, for instance, for rule of order 28 procedures, you ratify because an action happens before, and then in the first council we then come in and ratify. Now, for a budget adjustment of this nature, at the end of the financial year adjustment, I'm not sure whether it's a correct terminology, but I don't want to delve into that. Maybe our legal can assist. Apologies to Councillor Kuala for the delay.
Yeah, no, it's proper that for council, when they vote, they must be properly guided and be informed, and make sure that we are always in line with our rules of order. I will request legal to comment on the use of terminology so that we are procedural. Legal.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I think when it comes to this item, customarily it gets approved. I'll tell you the reason, good reason for that. As you were having various adjustments during the year, you've been approving them. Now what is being tabled is the final product of those adjustments. So this is the final document. It would require approval rather than a ratification. Thanks.
Okay, we are being guided that the proper way to handle the item is to do the approval. But I see there are some hands from the floor before we make a ruling. Can I listen to Mngongwe Nkwala?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thanks, Legal, for that clarity. But just a follow-up for clarity as well. Are you suggesting that these adjustments have taken place already and approved by council? We are now compiling them in one document, or is my answer correct? That is a new adjustment which happened in 2025-26 financial year, but we are now approving something that was supposed to be happening in a previous financial year. Can I get clarity then?
Okay.
If we are in line with the law in terms of Section 28 of MFMA to approve now, a recommendation should be done previous financial year. Can I get clarity on that one?
Okay, I will take the response from legal slowly and come back to Kuala, and then we make a ruling. Legal. Just to answer the question from Councillor Mngongwe.
Thank you, Speaker. This is a combination of approvals that have taken place already. That's why I said this is the document that reflects now all those approvals, and it requires approval. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Kuala.
Sibonga Somlomo, with the clarity, noma ngingekho based emthethweni ulegal usho ngokwakhe. Bengizothi ke mina umethi ses approve thina into evele si approve. That's why we put the amendment to say it's a ratification. Because as was Kuluma 2024, 2025 financial year, citizens are final adjustment. Sibe sesiqaleni financial year. So mhlawumbe ngasikhothela ke a section or a line ethi section so uthi ngoba we are that's irregular ngokwami ukubona manje lento esifuna ukuyenza. Yikho
Okay.
bengithi asebenzise u-ratification yabo.
Okay, that's fine. Let me invite legal again before we make a ruling on the matter. Just to further clarify, then we'll decide.
Thank you, Speaker. There's no specific or direct section or subsection that will talk to this. But this will be coming under the subsections of Section 28 of the Municipal Finance Management Act. Once these adjustments have been done as they were being done over the year, they have to be compiled into a document. And this is what is here for approval today. Thanks, Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have been provided with a clarification after some questions asked by councillors. It means, councillors, we are now going to approve this item as the law requires, so that we are in full compliance with the regulations and the law. I'm sure councillors will understand that. Therefore, that is a ruling on the matter. Okay.
So, sorry, Samlo.
Do you want to debate?
No, I want to take you to section, as I've read before, section 28 of the MFA.
Yeah.
It said during the financial year.
Councillor Kuala. Order. You see what I've done here? What I've done here, I've given you sufficient time to argue, debate, raise your issues, and ask questions. And then I invited legal to respond to all your points. Then after legal have responded to all your points, I then made a ruling, because I was avoiding that maybe you will accuse me to quickly rush to a ruling without you exhausting your point. Now, for you to come back after the ruling and quote the regulation or the clauses, it's become wrong. You should have raised those arguments earlier when you were expanding in your question. All your questions now has been responded to. Now I made the ruling, now you come back with the section you're quoting. Can we be together and be in compliance with our rules and continue with the meeting, because I've given you sufficient time to argue your case.
Somlo.
Kuala?
Ngiyaxolisa angizami ukwenza argument.
No problem.
But on my supporting,
Yeah.
I did emphasize that. I said, in essence, section 28 of the MFA provide a mechanism for municipalities to adapt their budget to changing circumstances during the financial year, ensuring financial management remains responsive and realistic. I did.
Right. Thank you. Nevertheless, all your questions, answers have been provided to. It means the item will be here for approval by council. Thank you very much for listening, councillors. Page 62. Yes. Now, Councillor Baxter, then will be followed by Councillor Kuala on the substantive item. Councillor Baxter.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yeah.
Speaker.
Yes.
It's Councillor Ngumalo here.
Umalo?
Yeah, no, Speaker, bengifuna nje ukusho ukuthi kuyenzeka kwesinye isikhathi Speaker uhambe nobumeli ufike udliwe unaye, thoda unaqala. Thank you very much.
Councillor Baxter.
Really this time? Really?
Yeah. This time.
Yo. It's almost like that new speed timing device from Metro Police is here. Every time you want to go, it catches you. We should actually be calling this the fix-it budget. You know, interesting enough, we only approved the mid-year around about February this year, which is not too long ago. But then you look at the figures that come at the end of May, sorry, the end of June. So May then reflects, and you've got now, by the end of June, you've got the end of the financial year. So when you come to May, you should be seeing probably about 80–90% of your budget spent because you're in the last 2–3 weeks of the month. But that's not the case. And then if you go and take the report that's submitted in May, you should see in June a change from there. But now, and you wonder, where's the man going? Let me take one or two examples. We go to the USDG, because a lot of this, as it says, has changed because of the change in the grants from DORA. Now, the USDG in May, we said we only spent 67%. But then we come in June, and suddenly we're at 94%. Now, you wonder, how did that happen in 2 weeks? Well, you have to go to look to the PTSG. Because the PTSG, in May, we said the budget was 544 million, of which we spent 437, which gave us an 80% spend. They wonder, why is he bringing the two in together? Because at the end of June, that figure changes. The 541 has now become 251, and the spend is 251, so no longer 437, now it's only 251, and we've got 100% spend. So you wonder, where's the rest of it go? Well, the rest of it was moved in the USDG so that you can show a better spend there, and you go to 94%. So you've just taken from the one, balance that one out, move it to the other one, fill that one up, and then suddenly you've got a balance and you're starting to achieve the 100%. Now, if you think it was just maybe a finger mistake there, then you have to ask yourself something else. In the end of May, we said sidewalks completed was 1.6 kilometers. 3 weeks later, we achieved 6 kilometers. Well, okay, maybe it's still a finger mistake. Gravel to asphalt. At the end of May, 2.7 kilometers. The end of June, 7.3 kilometers. Goodness gracious, we really do work in 2 weeks. They tell us our production is really very low, because in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we can do 3 times what we're supposed to be doing. So how is it that we have to trust these figures with this type of increases and changes? And you can say there's a cruel year, but you can't say actual. Actual spend means actually spent. You cannot tell me 3 weeks later, I didn't actually spend it, I actually moved it somewhere else. That doesn't make sense. And then you wonder, how is it that we balance the capital budget? Well, that's easy. What you don't spend, you just move into the operational budget. And suddenly your targets change, and you achieve the 100% across the board, and you move the money over to your operational budget. So when you look at the budget at face value, you say, oh, you know what? Oh, they're really moving the money to the right places. There's money going to water. There's money going to sanitation. Electricity is getting more. And you look, but then you have to break it down a little bit more. And now just listen to the similarities here. I'm not going to go into detail, but the Office of the City Manager, salaries and security. Finance, salaries. Governance, security, salaries. Economic development, salary, security. CES, overtime security. Human settlement, security. Water, salaries, security. Sanitation, salary, security. Electricity, salary. Goodness gracious. There's 2 places you need to work in. This place is getting salaries and having a security company, because that's definitely the 2 that get a lot of attention. And you must say the man probably thumb sucking. But you know what? It's not what's in here, in front of council. You must go and interrogate the full budget to see where it's moved from. Now listen to these. These are a couple of my favorites. Where did we take the money away? We took it away from fire protection, delay in appointment of employees, so we're not filling vacancies. We're working from home, so we're using less fuel. Remember that one. Delay in actually securing and contracts. Reprioritization of operations. Bush clearing. Remember this one as well, because on the one side we say bush clearing, we're not going to cut open around the high voltage and medium voltage operational sites for electricity. And where do we take it to? On the other side, we take it to security because it's been vandalized and theft. Well, obviously so, the people are hiding in the bush. Realignment of tourism programs. Now, I thought tourism was top priority. You try and get money out of tourism, see if you can get blood out of a stone. Expiry of contracts. We say that we have secured savings by the expiry of contracts, so we cannot deliver because and that's a saving. So we've got money to go and do something else. Delays in issuing of orders. So we don't order what we need, we run out of time, and then say, okay, well, let's go and do something else with it. Maintenance that never materialized. Expired meter sweeps and disconnections. Remember just now I said in the last 5 months since March, there's been no disconnections because we didn't appoint a contractor, so we can't do it. So suddenly we've got savings. All right, now what do we use it for? Gifts. We've bought gifts in like you cannot believe, a list of gifts. Now, myself come from the corporate sector, and very seldom did we get a full spread of catering. But yeah, everything goes with catering. Food is paramount. Catering and gifts and catering. You're quite welcome to go and, if you don't believe me, interrogate. Overtime, because there's a shortage of staff. Now remember, just as I said, we couldn't fill the vacancies. We see that we haven't got delays in appointing people. We need to fill, but we've got overtime because we say there's not enough staff to do the work, so we have to increase the overtime. Remember the other one where I said that we said we're saving on fuel because people are working from home.
Time. Order. Your time is up. Councillor Kwala.
Again. The FMMA states in section 1261 of A that accounting officer of a municipality must submit financial statement within 2 months after the end of the financial year to the Auditor General for auditing. It's a concerning KTS IFP. If you are still busy approving the adjustment budget of 2024-2025 in 2025-2026 financial year, when are we going to submit a financial statement to the Auditor General? Izobuya ke lento isishaya somlomo. Akhona ama case asesishayile asikhipha isimali siwumkhandlu ngokuthi asilalelani masibonisana. Uyayibuza ukuthi kanti iGNU yayikhandelwana mangazukulalelwana. Ngoba phela fanele sikhulume ngomthetho hayi ukuthi si oppose nje so and so. Ngoba kana majority siyabonga kodwa so abstain ke la ngoba asifuni ukuboshwa kubhizi manje kubi.
Thank you, Councillor Kwala. Councillor Madlala.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu, Honorable Speaker. I think as the ANC, we want to say we support this budget adjustment, and because of the presentations from both my colleagues across, one is going to be forced to read through this whole thing, just to provide clarity, because there's someone out there who's worried that we might be doing something wrong in this chamber. Section 28 of the MFMA was quoted in motivating why we should not be doing what we are doing, and let me quote it in motivating why we should be doing it. It says municipalities are permitted to revise an approved annual budget through an adjustment budget. While mid-year and in-year adjustments are commonplace, there are circumstances that justify a final budget adjustment in the first month of the new financial year. This is what we are doing. This adjustment is necessitated by the following considerations. One, finalization of the year-end transactions. At the close of the financial year on the 30th of June 2025, there are transactions that required alignment between budgeted figures and actual performance. These include rollovers, accruals, adjustments based on final invoices received post-year and cut-off. A final adjustment ensures budget figures reflect the true financial position of the municipality at the year end. Two, it allows for the authorization of rollover projects. Certain capital projects and grant-funded programs were not completed by the end of the financial year. In terms of the National Treasury guidelines, funding for these projects must be formally rolled over and reappropriated through a budget adjustment to avoid unauthorized expenditure and to ensure legal compliance, to answer that fear that Councillor Kwala had. Thirdly, to correct the correction of technical omissions and errors. We are a very big municipality. Technical omissions and errors would be commonplace if you are dealing with such a big budget. The finalization of the audited annual financial statements often uncovers minor misalignments, misallocations, or technical errors. These are best addressed promptly through a final adjustment to maintain the integrity of the financial record and audit trail. Fourthly, alignment with commitments and cash flows. A final adjustment enables the municipality to align the budget with actual commitments and available cash flows, ensuring that all obligations carried over from the previous year are fully funded and appropriately accounted for. Second last, preparation for National Treasury and provincial reporting, of course, the AG as well, to address Councillor Kwala. Accurately reporting to National Treasury and provincial authorities require that year-end adjustment be finalized and approved. This ensures consistency.
Point of order.
Speaker, point of order, Speaker, here. There is clear contradiction now because Umadlala is saying these were projected, this project were projected, were not completed on a financial year. And legal told us this is just a compilation of what's been approved already, which Madlala is now saying opposite. What is it? We must go out here because people are watching at home through social media. It's confusing now for us.
Councillor Mngwango, you can't raise a point of order like that. Madlala is on the floor debating.
But contradiction,
right?
Speaker.
No. Allow him to debate, right? Don't mix what has been said by legal and Madlala in a debate and raise a point of order. Let's allow Madlala his time to debate, right? Madlala, proceed.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I'm addressing a principle here. These are principles which justify why do you have the final adjustment. It's broad general principles. It's not speaking directly to what Councillor Bierge was reading. I'll get into that later on. So Councillor Mngwango should not be confused. Right. As I near the end of what I'm saying here, preparation for National Treasury, provincial reporting and the AG, accurate reporting to National Treasury and all of that, in line with Section 71 reports and the adjusted budget. Let me repeat this because it covers what legal was saying. It says, Accurate reporting to National Treasury and provincial authorities requires that year-end adjustment be finalized and approved. This ensures consistency between audited financial statements, Section 71 reports, and the adjusted budgets, meaning all that has been adjusted throughout the year, the financial year, and the Section 71 reports that have been provided throughout the financial year. Now, this aligns all of that so that when we are reporting, there are no inaccuracies.
Point of order.
Umadlala akachaza ukuthi le adjustment budget siyenza within a period of a financial year. Njengamanje into ekhona la ukuthi thina sesifuna uku-approve i-adjustment budget kwenye financial year.
Kahle kwala.
Khulumile nje.
Kahle councillors. Asingasimaglisha ama point of order sibe sifuna ukudebate. Your time to debate kwala usinikiwe debate. Ama point of order awekho kanjalo. Ayikho point of order lo izawona ufaka i-debate uyaqedela okusale kwi-debate yakho. Asingenzi kanjalo message ama point of order. Madlala.
Ngiyabonga. Just in case khona umuntu ongena manje ongangizwanga ekuqaleni. Ngithe Section 28 allows for the in-year adjustment, but also, or mid-year adjustment, but also a final budget adjustment in the first month of the new financial year. This is what we are doing today. Right. Lastly, the municipality remains committed to sound financial management and transparent governance. Now, to answer what Councillor Pietke was accusing us of doing, I wish he had raised these issues at the executive committee, because there we had the time, the opportunity, and the officials are allowed to engage at that level. He would have received responses for everything that he was accusing us of trying to do. One is that inconsistencies are due to late reports. He's saying you'll find that the kilometerage of your, what was it? Sidewalks. Now, we all know this. If you've been in the municipality for as long as he has been, you know this, that you'll find that work has been done, but reporting has not been prioritized. Then at the end of the financial year, everyone is forced to then come and account for what has been done. So you'll find that work has already been done and there's evidence of work being done. It's just that reporting was not as timely as it was supposed to be. Now, because it's the end of the financial year, vele imali, ngisho i-tech shop, umuntu orun i-tech shop, uyazi ukuthi cash up wani. Cash up ntambama. Ikona uzobona ngathi imali isiyiningi ntambama. Ibikhona imini yonke ukuthi kuphela akekho umuntu ocash up by emini. So officials are cash up late in terms of bringing in reports to justify work that has been done. It's not fudging, it's what is out there. And if Councillor Pietke is accusing us of maybe misrepresentation, you must then go out and have a look at this and see if there's no, on the ground, what has been accounted for is not there. He'll find that everything is there. And it's mostly those sidewalks that councillors will vouch for because they were done through your CIP projects. With that, we support the budget adjustment as the ANC. Siyabonga.
Yeah, thank you very much, councillors. Are the recommission agreed?
No.
No. Let's divide the house, please. No movement, we are voting. Secretariat, please be ready. Right, those who are in support of the recommendation, please clearly raise your board and make sure you are counted.
So, Bamba Ekwala. Ya, siyabonga ningahlisa izandla. Those who are voting against. Those who are voting against.
Should I take the budget?
Siyabonga. Thank you. Those who abstain. APF, please, can you please indicate your votes? But laba, yeah, ningahlisa laba kade be-abstain. APF,
APF support.
support, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, councillors were in support of the recommendation. The number is 90. Those who are against, the number is 42. Those who abstain, the number is 9. Recommendations will be carried through. Thank you. Let's move to the next item, Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Somlomo. The next item is on page 64. It's item number 10, is the unverified report of the service delivery and budget implementation plan for the fourth quarter ending at 30th June 2025. Committee recommends.
Page 64. All right, the item is for approval, eh? Yeah, are the recommendations agreed? Right, let's move to the, okay, now we are going to move to the second supplement, the second supplement agenda. The Deputy Mayor will table the report of the Executive Committee.
Thank you, Somlomo. Allow me to table the fourth report of the Executive Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Item 1 is the report of the Trading Services Committee from their special meeting which was held on the 30th of the 7th, 2025. Item 1.1, noting of reasons for the proposed amendment of contract number S5252 in terms of section 1163 of the Local Government Municipal Management Act, Municipal Finance Management Act number 56 of 2003. Of 2003 for the hire and servicing of portable chemical toilets for a period of 6 months. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much. I will note hands from the floor of those who want to debate the item. May I have the hands? Right, there are 2 hands. Okay, now there are now 3. Councillor Pector, number 1, Dovu, number 3. Ayanda number 3. Okay, right, because there are 2 Ndlovus here. There's Pector, there's EFF Ndlovu, there's ANC Ndlovu, right?
No, Bertu Ndlovu.
No, Pector Ndlovu. Now all Ndlovus must speak.
Speaker, I like that.
Speaker,
Ndlovu, Pector. Okay, there are 3 speakers, right?
Speaker, I'm sorry, Speaker.
Yeah, okay. Because now second afterthought.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Right. Those who want to speak on the item, raise your hands. I will note hands from the floor.
No, he's got me.
Councillor Pector, number 1. Mr. Vukani Ndlovu, you're number 2. Councillor Ngumalo, you're number 3. Freedom Front Plus, you're number 4. Ndlovu ANC, you're number 4.
in that order, right? Director?
Thank you, Speaker. I'll be brief. Yeah, it's how you say that in law. That's where the difference comes.
Thank you.
Firstly, I want to say thank you very much for the adaptation of the input that we gave at EXCO to clarify the document, where it was contained to 103 wards, where it now has been changed to extend all across the 111 wards. And while we will be supporting this, we also want to caution that we don't fall into this trap of the extension of contracts and extension of contracts and extension of contracts, because it opens up the possibility for corruption, not that to say that it is here, and we also need to take into consideration that we cannot have an evergreen contract because people consistently come and appeal and appeal and appeal. We have to come to a point, and we hope that at the end of the 6 months, which was extended before, that this will now be put to bed. And we're actually asking for that reassurance, that this now be done, dusted, new contract be allocated so that we do not sit with this again. Because next time, somebody will have to be, remember that thing that I said about consequence management? We will be keeping a very good tab on it. And to end off with, whatever the city manager's got in his bottle, can I also get some of it, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ndlovu. Number 2.
Ngiyabonga, Speaker. Mhlambe ngifuna ukuthola i-question kuqala. Legally, in terms of the opinion, le contract lena iya extendwa futhi okwesibili. 6 months from okokuqala, which was, I think, was 5 months. Now, the value of the contract will come closer to 15% of the actual value of the contract. Now, legally, is that correct now? For the second extension, because there is we understand ibalulekile le item. Kodwa now, because besekujahwe lento ka 31 July, ukuthi kuphasiswe le contract nakhona esikholelwayo ukuthi khona ubudedengu obube khona kwababa kufanele baphathe le process. So legally ke isho ukuthini lento yokuthi ivalue manje le extension iyaphezulu. Ake ngime lapho kwamanje, Speaker. I just want to get that before maybe I can go on into the actual item. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Councilor Ndlovu. Yes, I will invite legal to answer your question. You can do.
Okay. Thank you, Speaker. Section 116, subsection 3 of EMFMA does not put a number of times a contract can be amended. All that it does, it lays down the process. It allows that it can be amended and lays down the process. On the issue of 15%, there are 2 ways of extending a contract. You could be exceeding 50% in terms of the time period or 15% in terms of value. If it exceeds those 2, it requires this process that is being undertaken here. If it's below 15%, either in terms of time, period, or value, it doesn't go through this process. It gets amended via BAC without the public process, public advert, and coming to council. But for construction contracts, it becomes 20% the percentage that you are looking at, not 15. So the Act doesn't put a bar on the number of times. It lays down the process only. So extending it for the second time is within the legal framework. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. Can you continue with the debate, Councilor Ndlovu?
No, thanks, Speaker. I think the actual item we fully support, but we are hoping that the processes azoqhubeka ngendlela efanelekile, and those that are responsible for negligence, noma oversight in terms of finishing this process in time, will be held accountable. Because we are very much concerned about the inconsistencies around this item and how it's being handled. I think ikhona into eshoyo ukuthi there should be consequence management kulabo abahlulekile noma abahlulekayo ukuhandlisha ama matters are critical njengalawa, because we believe ukuthi this service is very important and is needed ekakhulu kuma communities lawo ayidinga kakhulu ukuze ibe khona kuona. Ngalawo mazwi siyayisupporta le item and sicabanga ukuthi izobalekelela abantu baseThekwini. Siyabonga.
Zanqumalo.
Hayi no, yathokoza Speaker ucosha ithuba. Mhlambe Speaker umuntu kakusho nje ukuthi ake Speaker engqondweni zethu nje noma koza kwethu ngiyakucela ukuthi ezinye izinto mazizela lapha kithi ukuthi sizoyixoxa asiyekeni ukuhlala njalo sizibuka izinto engazathi kune corruption ekhona phakathi and yet izinto ehamba ziyosiza abantu. Ngoba ke sibuke nje sibe positive. Okwesibili njengoba silapha nje Speaker ngiyafisa uzakwethu kubakhumbuza ukuthi singama caucuses sinalo ilungelo lokucela i-site visit. Sabe soyibona lonto lesibone ukuthi ngempela iyenzeka yini. Instead of ukuthi size la sithi sizokhuluma izinto ezibalekile then bese abantu bekhuluma bemislead umphakathi befuna ukuzokhuluma izinto ezifo nezine corruption and yet ziyosiza abantu. Ngakho besisho ukuthi ngalawo masingatha inkulumo kwesizwe sithi akuqhubeke lokhu kusebenza.
Siyabonga Councillor Freedom Front Plus. For the vet. Is your
Thank you, Chair,
microphone?
and thanks for administration to
Okay.
include the item number. I tried to cross-reference it with the medium-term revenue framework, but I couldn't find it. I can see there's 25 million for the toilets, and then it's moved around to something else, and then it's taken to someone else again, like Councillor Beethoven also indicated. Needless to say, it's all about the money. I mean, that's why we're here. And I don't see it in this item, so that is a bit disconcerting as well. And then it also points to our system failures. I mean, we issue contracts with our service providers, we issue Section 36 tenders that we issue without getting people to tender on stuff. Our VPN, our RMS system, and it comes down to failures that these things.
Point of order, Speaker.
Point of order, Councillor Madala.
My apologies, Speaker. I really want to listen to the. Did he say we issue contracts without contractors?
Councillor Madala, let's allow the council to conclude this debate. Proceed, Councillor.
Using
Order.
Section 36 contracts
Order.
instead of normal processes.
Order. Don't respond to Councillor Madala. Continue the debate.
This comes down to system failures, Chair. I mean, our system should be able to indicate to us that this contract is coming to an end. If it doesn't do that, our systems are not working for us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Ndlovu Ayanda.
Thank you very much, Somlomo Sibonge. Le item iza lapha kwethu ngenxa yokuthi isikhathi esasibekelwe yona saphela yaphinde futhi yengezwa ngeminyanga ezisihlanu sesiphela ke siyaphela ke isikhathi namhlanje. Iza ingoba uhlelo lokuhlomula noma ukuhlengahlengisa ukwazi ukubheka i-service provider ezolekelela lenziwa kodwa kwagcina ke kubonakala ukuthi kuba ne-non award akekho wabonakala kuyena ongakwazi ukuthi aqhube lo msebenzi ngendlela. So ANC silisupporta kakhulu lo hlelo ngoba indawo ezisezakhiweni ama-informal settlement la kukhona indawo ingekho la singakha khona i-structure sakhe ama-toilet la ayasilekelela khona aphinde asilekelele futhi uma sinama-event outdoor event ama-event esiba nawo ey'nkundleni iyasisiza kakhulu. So ANC siyalisupporta lolu hlelo kodwa siyazoqinisekisa njengekomiti ukuthi siyalandelela ukuthi njengoba sesingeziwe isikhathi sizocela la ekomitini ukuthi kwikhanseli sengezwe kuyaqinisekiswa liyaqedwa uhlelo lokuqokwa ngokusemthethweni kwama-service providers okuyiwona azoqhubeka nalo msebenzi. Therefore, as the ANC, we support the item. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much, councillors. Are the recommendation noted? Thank you. Let's go back now to the main agenda. We are going back to the main agenda. We are going to deal with the two impact reports. We are done now with the executive committee report. Back to the order of procedure to report from impact. The chair of the report of the impact will summarize both reports.
No, thanks, Speaker. Greetings to councillors. Also greetings to you, Speaker. We, as an MPEC, we've got two reports. The first report, it's a UIFW expenditure, finalized investigation. Then the second report, it's an assessment of MPEC by UKOGTA. So, Speaker, the first report, our recommendations are cornered, they are on page 2. The committee recommends that in compliance with section 32 of the Municipal Finance Management Act, MFMA irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure total it's 102.35.351.81 as in Annex A of this report be satisfied as irrecoverable and written off by council based on the outcomes of the investigation of such expenditure. This one, Speaker, 1.1 is for approval, as well as 1.2. That the 1.2 that they having noted that no value was received due to negligence, fraudulent activities which resulted in fruitless and wasteful expenditure being incurred. The amount of 31.069.434.11 as in Annex B of this report be recovered. 1.3, Speaker, it's for noting that be noted that any consequence management recommendations are being or will be dealt with in accordance with the council policy in relation to financial misconduct and oversight by the financial misconduct disciplinary report. Thanks, Speaker.
Right, Koni Kulumla, the item DA, Councillor Kisson, number 1, number 2, Councillor Ben, IFP, Councillor Kavenda, S, HNSA, Councillor Mwango, EFF, Councillor Vindlovu, ANC, Councillor Dlamini. In that order, Councillor Kisson.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to speak on the item on the first report in regards to pensioners' voucher, because there are moments in this chamber that we need to set our differences aside, not because we are afraid to stand for what we believe in, but because something deeper is at stake. Today is one of those moments. We are dealing with a report about pensioners' vouchers, a simple act of dignity that reaches across over 100 wards to households that rely on council not just for the services, but for compassion and care and certainty. And on paper, the numbers look perfectly fine. The pensioners received 500 Rand vouchers. The city did not pay the disputed 100 Rand handling fee, and there was no waste, there was no theft, there was no audit red flags. But if we look closer, we'll actually see a different story, because this is one that should unsettle all of us. A contract went out through a Section 36 deviation, even though this is an annual planned event. We know about it all well in advance. Every ward councillor either anticipates it or dreads it. The service provider submitted an invoice with an extra 100 Rand per voucher. And officials, without us approving it in this chamber, tried to retroactively legitimize that increase through BAC, but BAC refused. But by then, the deal was already done. Now, that same supplier may want to take our municipality to court demanding payment for a charge that we never agreed to. And as the elected official, as the elected part of this council, we are left to answer for the decisions that were never authorized. Speaker, I say this not to score points. I say this because if we as council don't stop this practice now, it is going to become standard. if we let deviations pass for calendar-based events, and if we allow price hikes to be baked in and we just justify them later, we allow the administration to act first and consult council never. And then we are no longer in control. We are spectators to our own governance. And I want to be very honest, I don't think this was theft. It was not corruption in the conventional case sense. I think it was an abuse of process. And that is the start of every governance collapse, because it begins with a well-meaning deviation, it escalates with a price adjustment, and then it ends with legal exposure, broken trust, and we have reputational damage that we all have to carry, regardless of which party we belong to. Speaker, I believe that good governance is still possible, but belief must be matched with courage, and the courage to say enough. Because where we have officials that do not follow due process and go to retrospectively adjust items, this is not how we do business, and this is not how we protect our ratepayers. This is not how we honor our pensioners of the city, that the pensioners are the people who carried us through harder times with less. So I ask Council today, not for outrage, but I think we need to resolve. We need to act because we were caught, not because we were caught, but because we still believe in accountability. We need to defend the public trust, not by blaming, but by correcting it. We need to not finger point, but we have to have principles. Because this is not only about vouchers, this is about who holds the pen when the rules are bent. And today we must hold that pen and hold those officials accountable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next was Councillor Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to speak on the same issue because in many ways this instance of UIFWE is iconic of so much of what has gone wrong in the EThekwini and which continues to go wrong. A simple administrative process was turned into a tender with a fat slice for the tenderpreneur. I understand that this issue is a matter of some annoyance and possibly even some embarrassment to you, Mr. Speaker, and others in your department. The year was 2022, the first year, Mr. Speaker, of your responsibility for the Senior Citizens Program. By then, the program had transitioned from being an event with food and entertainment and a food hamper for senior citizens to take home, to a plain and simple gift card redeemable at the most convenient supermarket in each ward. Reduced to basics, all that had to be done was for a municipal official to liaise with the major supermarket chains to identify 111 stores, one in each ward, and to purchase 111 times 500 gift cards. But in typical EThekwini style, the administrative process was tenderized, meaning it was turned into a tender. The result was that the senior citizens got 100 Rand less in groceries, and the tenderpreneurs got 100 Rand for each of the 55,500 gift cards which they arranged. Nice work if you can get it. And that was achieved by manipulating the tender processes. The DA believes that the officials who manipulated the tender processes to achieve this end result should not only face consequence management processes as impact resolved, but that the UIFWE should also be recovered from them. But unfortunately, we were outvoted at impact, which was a novel experience.
Thank you, Councillor Kavenda. IFP. Okay, Councillor Mwango.
Covered. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, these are just concerning issues, but one, maybe if Chair of MPEG was going to come back, maybe he can help me understand this, because I always battle when we say after investigation there was value for money, but then you say you want to write off. Maybe it's just my understanding that need to be understanding that. But more concerning, Honorable Speaker, is around CIIU. Because this is a unit that should be really holding high standards. Now, when you've got such a unit incurring more than 24 million irregular expenditure, honestly, it's a big problem and a big concern. And I hope that this can be zoomed in to understand exactly what is going on to bring integrity to this unit, because we can't expect them to make sure there is integrity in the institution when themselves there are these questions and concerns around them. So we are really concerned about that. But I think also the issue of consequences, I did say earlier, I think it's high time where we see individuals who are implicated honestly at times get charged, criminally so, and also be prosecuted. Because we can't just turn a blind eye and say all of these things, there is no corruption. I understand people don't want the word corruption in this house, but it is a reality that we incur irregular expenditure, mostly because people want to take shortcuts to achieve a particular goal. These are the things that need to be properly investigated and ensure that behind just irregular expenditure, they
there is value for money. If the processes are not followed, then it means there is a problem. And we are calling for CIU and all other bodies to act against those that are involved. Thank you very much, Somlo.
Thank you, Councillor Dlamini, ANC.
Thank you, thank you, Somlomo. Somlomo, umuntu kumele ayichaze lento. Thina siyikomiti el-infonwa ama issues lawo asuke etabulated a committee of consent athinta ama UIFWs. Since sicophelele if si discussa noma siwa deliberate ukuthi si avoid lento yokuthi si end up mhlambe si reach I deadlock engasilindele ukuthi si vote. We are not voting in this committee of ours. Si reach consensus based on fact and merits bese sithatha ama recommendations lawa suke siwenzile sizowenza la. We counsel, we full counsel as per irresponsibility. So I'm trying to emphasize the point yokuthi there will be no point where we can be differ the result ek voting. Secondly, the committee tina eltatama matters from different units. Siwa deliberated with the assistance of CIIU, the Financial Misconduct Board. Bese siyavumelana ukuthi nanka ama-resolution esiwathathayo per item sizowa-submitha la asilona ikomiti elithatha isinqumo ngama-individual ama-culprits. So it should be clear ukuthi thina we are coming up with a recommendation only. Then there are structures, ama-unit, based on the recommendation from UCIIU, NATI, as well as misconduct. Ekbese kuba yiwo athatha ama-decision ngokuthi institute a further, not investigation. Ukuthi ke manje, whatever that you have done, ebe malpractice, you are being charged. Sebehlalile ba deliberate. Ngamanye amazwi, if sithi thina per committee, i-council, yothi kotali, inikezwe i-progress, ngalama report lawe suke siwalethe la, ukuthi in terms of consequence management, how far they have gone. That's where last previous meeting, ye council, kwaba ne report, they even alluded in that report executive, ukuthi there will be a time where even labo bantu kasuke sebechajiwe, kuyomele kube nendawo la abantu abafuna ukusatisfy, abayohamba bayobheka ukuthi ngempela abantu bashajiwe yini as per i-recommendation ebekelwe kwi-council as a committee reporter kwi-council. So comrade, i-council inga-expect ukuthi thina sizoqhamuka nama-judgment. We'll always come with a recommendation. So ngifuna uku-emphasize leyo nto, Speaker. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, councillors. Usually, I don't participate in the debate of report in council. I don't supposed to do that. But with the report that involved the vouchers in 2022, I am the one who formally launched a complaint with the CIIU. I launched a complaint myself after what happened. And I can confirm that CIIU investigated my case. The relevant official was taken through a DC process. He was finally dismissed from the municipality. He's no longer in the employment of the municipality. I can confirm that because I have been following the case. Now, I'm doing this, councillor, so that the debate should not leave a picture as if after complaint has been launched, nothing has happened. I can confirm that in my case, action was taken, a relevant employee was dismissed, is no longer part of council. Thank you very much. Recommendations on page 2, the first two, 1.1 is for approval, 1.2 is for approval. Are both agreed? 1.3 is for noting. Is noted?
Noted.
Thank you. Next report, Chair.
Thanks, Speaker. The second report is an assessment of MPEC functionality by UCOGTA. I will take it as read among recommendations. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much. There are no speakers on this report. Recommendations as for noting. They're all noted, councillors. Thank you. Those were the two MPEC reports back in our order of procedure in our agenda. We will now move to the notices of motions. We don't have B.
Page 33.
Yes, page 33, there's one notice of motion from Councillor Johnson. Are you present?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Johnson. It's seconded by Moses. Councillors, I'm sure you have seen and read the notice of motion. Is the motion supported? Thank you. Next item, these are, okay, there are no report from the mayor, from the city manager. Report for committee decisions are all noted, councillors. Items for noting are noted. Right now, we have come to the end of the council meeting, but we're going to deal with the in-committee items. We are closing now the agenda for the ordinary council meeting. All our officials are released, but the city manager will decide who to leave so that they can assist us. All of you, our officials, thank you very much, members of the public, the team, they've been assisting us by streaming our meeting live on our social media. Thank you very much for being part of our meeting. You are all excused. Councillors, please remain seated. We are going to